Hello, everyone. My name is Iggy. Welcome to the brand new renovation of the show. We have a special guest. I will tell him about a little bit about him. I'm a podcaster, founder of RIMM Podcast in the Central Florida here in Seminole County. So we're helping a lot of legislators, lawyers, doctors, and many others who wants to for unheard voices to be heard in the Central Florida and further. So our next guest is Terrell Thomas, a candidate for Orange County Clerk of Court. When nearly with 2+ decades of experience serving Florida court system inside, understand everything about the court system. So Terrell has worked for inside Orange County Clerk Office and alongside courts and justice agency across the county. His career has focused on improving government operations through technology, innovation, and public services. Today, he's joining us to discuss his visions for Clerk Office that is more transparent, more accessible, and better prepared for the future while putting people first. I love to add up to this. They always telling us they put the people first, but unfortunately, once they get elected, they put themselves first instead of the people. So we want to reverse that today. So please welcome Terrell Thomas to the RIMM Podcast, episode 73. Sir, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to having you today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the platform, trusting me today to share the Clerk Forward vision.
Absolutely. So before I jump to the questions, I've been living in Central Florida for since 1997. I love Orlando. I've been walking to Orlando. I grew up Church Street. We've been actually there in Wall Street and many streets. Our Orlando city is now becoming, I don't want to say nightmare. It's coming nightmare. I feel uncomfortable going on Saturdays, Sundays, walking out with all of the fights and stuff. So I understand that's not your job, but I want to reach out because Orange County is an essential part. Clerk of Court, Orange County Clerk of Office is an essential part of the agency. You guys collect one of the crucial information. So what I've been hearing from a lot of Orlando citizens, Orange County, is the customer service. They have to wait for hours and hours. We have a lot of attorneys. We have a lot of state attorneys. We have a lot of defense attorneys. We have a lot of people who just want to get married, get a license, and get married. They say it's a nightmare. So my man, if you get elected, what are you going to do about it? Within the first 90 days of your office, what is the first 3 things that you're going to do?
Well, first of all, I love your passion. I love that you care enough to bring this up as a topic on this podcast today. So one of the things that I think is very, very important with an incoming clerk or anyone who's being elected or running in a race to be elected to a constitutional office is to approach the office with a transformational mindset. And so that means coming to the table to understand the issues first, being responsible about that transformation. So the first thing I would do is do an organizational assessment to understand what's the root cause of the frustration. What are the exact frustrations? You mentioned wait times, marriage licenses. Once you dig into it, it could be anything from a training issue. There could be training gaps. Which means that falls in line with my People First initiative because the People First initiative is really about the internal culture, building a culture that can provide exemplary and exceptional service based on training opportunities and development. So I would dig into the issue to say, what is the root cause of the issue? And once we determine the root cause, what's an effective responsible way to approach resolving that issue? So I would want to understand the issue more, what the root cause is, and implement a plan to resolve the issue. Looking at metrics, looking at data based on some of our metrics that we pull from both surveys, from external customers and residents who have made those frustrations known, and maybe some internal internal assessments with the staff to see who has experienced issues with some of these these clients that come in or customers that come in, and what's the story, what's the backstory. Absolutely. And then we start to compile that data, and then we work toward a resolution on that, path to resolution on that.
Got it. I know you said you have a 2+ decades of experience. It's important to have an experience because you know the system in and out, and people who coming out of that could be a great leader. But now I want to throw the hyperbole question. because we have so many sports figures in the country. They are great player, right? But they are terrible coaches. So now being a good player and coach at the same time, it takes an extra step, because when you are a best player, it's all about you. You want to dominate the space. You want to be the best of the best, because you only play against others. How to become the best? But when you become a leader, now having that leadership that you built over 20, 30 years, as your stigma is all about you. How do you what is it, transformational leadership? How do you transform to be a leader? And not many of them can do that. In your situation, you have other two components, other two opponents are running against you. So you have an experience, but now do you have a leadership to lead Orange County Clerk Court, which is almost what, thousand of employees, less than that, right?
It's about 400.
400 and plus, so less than
Mm-hmm.
500 employees. Yeah. So what it takes to being 20 years as a person working no in and out, and now stepping up to lead. So do you believe Orange County voters should vote for you, and why they would vote for you? You have an experience, but do you have a leadership?
Very good question. Thank you for bringing that up. So I think true leadership is someone who comes to the table with a heart to want to serve. Service is at the core of what we do. So if there is no public servant aspect to you, I would question leadership. I have my life is a life of service. I've served everywhere from my church to in the clerk's office. I serve my family. I serve my friends. I serve acquaintances. Service is across the board. And so you have to have a heart of a servant to want to connect with people, engage with people. You have to want to come down from an executive mindset and into kind of the day-to-day operations and experience and walk with people and understand what they face on a daily basis. So I think servant leadership should be at the core. And so for me, over 20, 30 years, I've spent in court technology and the service to various courts and justice agencies, and specifically to the Orange County Clerk of Courts, is I've learned that even though I have the expertise from a technology standpoint, and I spent most of my years supporting the technological needs of the organization, in that I was still able to build relationships. I found myself fixing problems, very complex problems, but building relationships, taking time with people, and meeting them where they are. And just making lifelong connections. A lot of connections I've made over the years I consider lifelong. So it's about that servant leadership mindset.
Okay. Now the root of cause is everything, because we just want to suppress the symptoms. We never want to go back to root of cause. So now you're saying, or if you're coming back now, imagine for this, you have a previous clerk of court that's been running and previous, and they get to this level that pausing on the customer service. So now you stepping in as a clerk of court, and then how do you gonna change behavior of the employees? They already been infringed and engraved with the past previous. So you can do two things: fire and hire, or you wanna keep the best of the best. Not many people gonna be transformable. So if I am working in a place and I've been in a safe box like for 10 years, and leadership taught me that way, what is the thing to change your mindset down way in the roads? So as a future leader or the elected official for the clerk of court, what are you going to do specifically about this changing the root of cause? Everybody talk about root of cause. But root of cause is not just in leadership, it's already installed in 500 employees. So how do you give rejection? How do you eliminate a root of cause in employees? Because leadership is going to change. My employee is going to be there. So what are you going to do in that? Are you going to fire and hire, find the best way? That's the only way we're going to be transformer, accountable, and it's going to have a transparency. Other than that, we can put a technology. Nothing's going to happen.
That is so true and so essential. So for me, it is fostering a culture of trust, fostering a culture that says we are going to invest in our employees, and not just saying it but doing it. So actions speak louder than words.
Of
It's the
course.
general, the fundamental
Of
rule
course.
there, right?
Of course.
And so it goes back to relationships. Let me just take a step back. So the great thing about me that differentiates me from the other candidates is I've built these relationships over these. A lot of folks are still there, and they have. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see on the campaign page, you'll see a lot of support from a lot of internal employees, former clerks, folks that I've connected with over the years, and so a lot of them are still there. So there's that trust factor coming in. They trust me. They know my work ethic. They know my approach. They know my leadership. They know that I'm a problem solver. They know that I stick with a problem until it's solved. I stick with them through the frustrations and through the issues. So coming in and from day one saying, listen, from this point on, we are fostering a culture of trust. We're going to invest in you. We're going to provide training opportunities and development, because frustration can emanate from not just not knowing the process.
Of course,
and
of course.
it frustrates the client. It frustrates the employee who was providing service to the client. And so that root cause, now we understand that root cause, and so now it aligns with the vision to say, look, we're going to implement this training and this development so that you become a better clerk. You have the knowledge you need, and we improve service overall, not just to the client, but to each other as well. And I keep hitting the mic. Sorry about that.
So for the customer service is important. Like I said, I want to go back again. If you become a leader and you're seeing that whatever you are innovating is not going, are you into a hire and fire or not?
It'll be a more responsible approach than that. I will again. I come to the table with a perspective, but I will always make sure that it's carried out responsibly. If it's whether it's myself or myself with my managers or leadership, there will be a responsible approach. So it's getting to that root cause. That's something. There's a cause and effect, right? So there's a root cause of an issue, and then there's the effect of that issue, right? So it's getting to the core of what the issue really is, and is it an individual problem? Is it an organizational problem? Is it a culture problem? So depending on where that falls is the approach that we'll take. But it'll always be responsible in a way that we will get to the bottom of it. And so the outcome may be that there may be separation, depending on the nature of the issue. And if we're not able to move past it, but there will be responsible measures taken.
Because what I'm saying, the next question is the public trust. So how do you build the public trust if you're still running the same leadership? You might have a different leadership, but transforming employees is one of the hardest way to do it. Public sector, government, they barely ever do that. They just do top positions wherever appointed, but most likely these people are standing there forever. So question, like how do you rebuild the public trust in the government if you have the people who are not taking responsibilities, even though you do everything with them? You give them all of the equipment, training, but they are not just so effective. So if somebody ineffective, what do you do with them? You're still holding them, or you firing them? Because I'm not pushing fire and hire, but in order to do something, that's the best strategy. Fire and hire. I'm not saying go there and being like aggressive on them. But if you want to win my trust, I gotta something change, not just in leadership, because you guys are for what, 4 years, 6 years in office, 4 years.
It's unlimited.
Unlimited.
But elections are
election 4 years. But okay, you're gonna go 4 years. You're gonna come back to me again, and not you specifically, but you're gonna say, well, it's up to employees. But you are a leader. So that's what I was saying from the beginning. You can be a great player, but doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach.
Right.
So my question, how do you rebuild the trust from day one? What consequences is going to be some consequences for the employees, for retention, for not performing? Because customer service comes out of one place, because employees not performing. If they're performing, customer will not even talk about this. What would you do? How are you going to rebuild the trust?
So, and that is another segue into kind of the culture thing. So, which is tied into the organizational assessment. So, coming into the organization, I will conduct a organizational assessment right off the bat.
How do you going to do that? Can you share with us?
Yes. So, we will either it'll be a hybrid between a third party organization and internal subject matter experts or folks that are closer to the organizational processes and procedures and things internally. So it'll be a hybrid of the organizational assessment. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at financial controls. I'm going to look at leadership styles. I'm going to look at frustrations, complaints, challenges, whatever. I'm going to do a deep dive into the organization to understand where, three things: what's working, what isn't, and what we need to change. And so those things.
Are you going to share that with public?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Transparency. And so that kind of segues into the transparency piece is we owe the public that data and the results. It's the taxpayers that come in, not necessarily funding the clerk's model, but they are taxpayers that come in and pay court costs, fines, and fees. And those are the items that fund the clerk's office. So we owe that transparency. We owe fixing issues. We owe turning an ear to their frustrations. And I'm a believer that things start from the inside out.
So now we fix the leadership. You fix the leadership, you fix employees, then you have a training. It's going to be overwhelmed transformation and change. That's the only way to do it. But I said, starts with the leadership, starts with the top. Because as I said, if I'm working for you, and then you come there and you just don't care kindly, why would I care either, right? But if I have a leader who comes there with charisma, with transparency, with initiatives, with innovative things, so now we can switch to technology, to innovation. So how do you train the people who are not into technology? For example, you might have populations that's elderly, 60, 65, 70. Could be, I don't know, publicly majority, could be majority, could be minority. But how do you change, how do you train these people? Are you allowing them to take easily assessments, go to a retirement account, say drop, just be there? Or maybe having them and overtrain and see others while this new employees transform into technology? Because this is the question. People said they want to change. But change, you got to look it up two factors. You got to look it up elderly population. You got to look it up a younger population. Elderly population are baby boomers. I don't need no change. I've been doing this for 40, 50 years.
Right.
So how do you change the behavior of those employees comparing to the new ones? The new ones, they've been born and raised with technology. But the older ones, they have not. They have 2-3 years before they exit retirement. I said, I don't need you to come here and telling me what to do. Right. I've been doing this for 40, 50 years.
Right. Yeah.
So when it comes to the innovation, how do you gonna do transformation from that into innovation? Because I see a lot of people just drop the money. They spend the taxpayers' dollars and everything gets done. Because they then never understand two root causes. Elderly people are not into technology. Younger people are into technology. They will adopt whatever you say. And that's why I said sometimes you have to put them in the hole. Like I said, I'm not to fire and hire them, but maybe put them in some kind of program so that you can reach your goals. So how are you going to do that?
Well, that's a good question, and that's not always easy. We'll just admit that right off the bat.
Of course.
It's not an easy process. Like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? That type of mentality. And yeah, there are folks that are very, very accustomed to doing things a certain way, and change is just, whoa, that is like not on my list of things to do, right? So I think in that case, every organization has to have a change management process or a change, be sensitive to change management. So because I value every single employee's contribution, I value these people. I love these people. I love the clerk of courts employees. I love the servant leaders that are aspiring, that we are going to build and develop, and those who work through on a daily basis and provide a tremendous value. Thank you so much for your contribution. I just wanted to give a shout out right here now to all of you. You are appreciated. I value the employees. I value their input. I value their contributions. So I would work to develop a plan that would help those who are having a little bit of anxiety around transition and change. The great thing about it, most people at this point have adapted rather to the technology, and the approach has been very. It's yielded high success. But of course, not sitting in the office and sitting in the role and understanding the pulse, so to speak, of the culture, specific issues. I would say, from an outside looking in, that we would just implement, I would work to implement a change management process that would accommodate folks who are. Now, the vision is going to be implemented. So we are going to have people first, community focus, and future ready. All of that is going to play into the Clerk Forward vision, and that is something that everyone will need to align with, but we will be sensitive to the needs of those who might resist change, but we'll strongly encourage them to
Absolutely.
connect with the Clerk Forward vision.
Absolutely. So now we live in you run for Orange County, and Orange County it's a huge county, probably one of the fastest growing county in the country. Orlando is last year was over 77 million people visit Orlando. So it's one of the biggest city in the country. We are not the biggest city while population-wise, but we are one of the most visited city in the country because of Disney.
Right.
And Disney is a big game changer for Orlando. If there was no Disney, Orlando will be nowhere on the map to see. So now, Orange County, and not just Orange County, we have a two-party system. And last time I checked in Orange County, there is as many Democrats as many Republicans, but there is also as many numbers are undecided voters, not party affiliated. So they are not leaning either to one party system or another system. Right. So now, question: what would you do differently, and how would you attract undecided voters to choose you compared to other two components, specifically for Orange County Clerk of Court?
Great question. You're right. There's the party affiliation piece of it: the Republicans, Democrats, NPAs, Independents. The numbers are what they are. I would say, me as an NPA, I would, I would say folks who are undecided, I would make a case to look at experience versus party affiliation. Look at the person's ability to connect and engage with people, the person's ability to a track record of change, and I would that would be my case to those who are undecided. I have 20 plus years working in the clerk's office, not only supporting the technological needs, but I've been building relationships, over 30 years in court technology. So that all speaks to experience, which means I can step in from day one to say I understand the inner workings of the system because I worked with the technology vendor who the system was. I worked with the software development company that developed the system that Orange County uses today. Sorry.
Very innovative.
I am familiar with the inner workings. I am familiar with the functionality, leveraging the best functionality to get the best results and make sure that case data, that flow of data is productive and it gets from point A to point B. I understand the technical part of it. I understand operations, again, working through the various divisions, criminal, civil, probate. So experience, hands-on, working with in the private sector, working in the both in the public sector is a perfect blend to say that when I step in, I'm going to understand when a client comes in and they want to make a financial payment and that payment doesn't disperse correctly. I understand how to configure that to where it disperses to where it's supposed to go, because the importance of that is the clerk's office is funded by court costs, fines, and fees, which comes out of a payment that gets split. And so if we don't have the understanding off the top, it could impact revenue on a larger scale if that mistake gets repeated over and over again. So I can catch those types of things and work with our IT team to remediate those issues. So it's that experience is key. I would say to someone who's undecided, look at my experience, look at my track record, and you will see that I am fit from day one to step in and lead this organization.
And my question: why do you believe that more and more people are leaning to undecided voters?
You know, it's a crazy world out there in the world of politics. I just think there's so much
division,
for whatever reason. I mean, for all the reasons that it exists, and it's folks just kind of at this day and age, folks are a little more sensitive and just kind of want to bow out and say, you know what, I just,
They don't make any more emotional decisions as they used to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now, I want to go back again to the customer service because, like I said, customer service is the biggest step in the Orange County Clerk of Court. So now, many people will do everything. They say, we'll change the customer service, we'll do innovation, we'll train the people, we'll hire. But then it goes back again to the same thing. So how will technology improve the customer services if you create more bureaucracy?
That word bureaucracy. That's like it's so I believe that bureaucracy has caused a stigma. That word just causes folks to pause and say, "Whoa!" Right? Exactly. And
like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
you know,
because it's a powerful word.
Right.
Everybody's using it, but what it does, it creates stigma between the party system.
Yeah.
And when two-party system don't have the conflict resolution, what they do? They disagree with each other.
Yeah.
And then when you disagree with each other, and then employees are looking their leadership, they say like, well, they're doing this each and every day. So maybe at the beginning employees are effective, but then later on they start to leaning to, and people always adopt bad behaviors much faster than the good ones, because that's just the way we are equipped with the brain. So how would you remove the bureaucracy from day one in office? So ensure the customer service is getting where it needs to be. But otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen to Orange County in the next 4 or 5 years.
Well, I'll tell you, when I take office, it will be that the Clerk Forward vision will have impact from day one.
Okay.
And so it goes back to the bureaucracy question. It goes back to assessing our current investments. So from a technology perspective, the current case management system, we assess what investments do we currently have in this system, and is it working? Is there a lot of red tape to get one process done? Is it necessary to even invoke technology in the specific processes? So it's about having that due diligence, but that responsibility of responsibly looking at what currently exists and determining if it's a good fit or if it's not a good fit, if it needs to be improved. Because I think that bureaucracy, what happens is, you have 10 steps in a process, but 3 of them can be eliminated if we assess the functionality behind that process, or the thought behind why that process exists. If we can eliminate steps in that process, we've eliminated more bureaucracy, more red tape we've got to go through, more delays and bottlenecks getting to the end solution, which is providing that exceptional service to our clients and residents.
And like I said, you're talking about budget, like the taxpayers' money. So just so the Orange County is rebuilding the library, spending $90 million. It's going to look nice. However, when I go there, there's almost nobody. So my question is, why would you invest $19 million into something? I'm always for renovating. Don't get me wrong. I love when people are putting money back into infrastructure. I also have an office in Chicago. I go there all the time, and you should see that roads, potholes, and stuff. It's horrible. My question is like, before you invest the taxpayers' money, are you just gonna vote for it, or you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna do some surveys to ensure that this money I'm using taxpayers are going in the best possible solution and for the best use of public? Why would you renovate a library or any government sector, any agency, if nobody's coming there? There is no traffic foot. So just because it looks good, don't get me wrong, I love the appearance, aesthetic appearance. However, that's the taxpayers' money that could be put for something else, like homelessness. We have a lot of homelessness. Nobody talks about that. But like I said, this show is not particularly about homelessness. But like I said, I want to ensure that they're using already money. If you're going to use the Orange County Clerk of Court money, are you going to use the best use for the public?
Absolutely. Great question, because, Article 5 of the Florida Constitution says that, the clerk's office is to operate in integrity and transparency, And I think that also aligns with being fiscally conservative. Having the understanding the fiduciary duties of the clerk of court includes financial responsibility. And I think that Orange County has done a great job. Orange County Clerk has done a great job over the years. I've had the privilege to work to serve under 5 administrations.
Okay.
And so the reports to the citizens of Orange County always indicate a surplus, or it indicates good money management. And so I want to continue that, being financially conservative, and making sure that the people of Orange County know that that the money is going for good purposes, the correct purposes, the appropriate purposes. It kind of also goes back to understanding what investments we currently have versus creating new, taking more funding and creating opportunities, or creating something that is not necessarily needed because we already have it.
So if the Orange County Clerical Court already have a surplus, do you believe the other agency in Orange County should look it up at the Orange County Clerical Court, even though it's a different jurisdictions? They have their own jurisdictions. Should they look it up, the surplus and fiscals of you guys, the way you are always in surplus compared to other agency or district they run? Should they look it up at you and say, wow, if these guys are running surplus, maybe we should learn something from them?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you, there's a silver lining here in terms of funding. There's the new HB bill, I think it's HB 925 that just passed by the governor, which says that, signed into law by the governor, that says that the clerk of courts can keep 100% of additional funds that come in, instead of the traditional 50% that we would have to give back to the state. And so that now increases our funding to the tune of something like $13.3 million. That increases that funding. And so now we have this surplus, right? And so now it furthers the responsibility to manage that money responsibly. So it doesn't mean we go out and spend it. Doesn't mean we go out and, we have to assess the need, and we have to, bake that into the budget pie, the fiscal pie, if you will. There are the way that pie is split. It goes to anywhere from operational needs to technology needs to cybersecurity to staffing. So we would look at that responsibly and figure out if we're where we can apply additional funding within that budget. So as far as the other agencies, absolutely. It's the funding models I'm not familiar with other funding models other than the clerk of courts. So not sure, if there is a kind of a difference there, and if we would be able to provide any guiding light on that. But certainly looking at how we manage our dollars, maybe that's the core of it. Looking at, okay, you are now at 64% allocation to your staffing and your employees. Maybe we should look at more. Maybe we should increase our budget more for staffing or infrastructure or capital projects or whatever it may be. So
like the information is out there. If somebody's performing well, why not to look into other agencies, see how well they do? However, many elected officials feel granted, I'm a leader. Why should I? That's the problem of the personal holding positions, because I don't want to look into. I run my own district. I should not look into others, because they feel if they take encouragement or learn from others to improve their efficiency, they think they are not credible. But you're actually more credible if you learn from others, improve your district instead of ignoring and stuff. But that's for another talk. So now this is our last question. What is the one promises you will be judged on after 4 years serving on the seat of Orange County Clerical Court?
Great question. So
just one. I don't need 5. Just one.
Just one. Okay. Gotcha.
I need one day. I will coming back 4 years from now and say, listen, man, you remember 4 years ago I interviewed you, but now you said you made a promise and you did or you did not. So what is the one promise?
Can I meet you halfway?
Yes.
Okay.
Meet me halfway.
So that one promise would be to fulfill every principle that supports the clerk forward vision. So the clerk forward vision is what I would be bringing to Orange County Clerk of Court, which comprises of people first. Did I build the culture? community focused? Did we make things more? Did we make information accessible to the public? Did we make good on our promise to bring the clerk's office and services to the community, making it more accessible and convenient? And thirdly, did we safeguard our data? Did we survive any cyber attacks? Did we modernize technology? Did we double down on cybersecurity and make sure we are adhering to the very best practices? You can judge me in 2 years, because 2 years is the special election will covers me for 2 years if I get elected. Then I have to run for a full term in 28, I believe. So, but that's what I'd like for you to help me. Did Clerk Forward deliver on its promises?
So once you deliver that, we'll have effective customer service. Everybody waiting. We don't have to wait in a long line, long phone calls to make sure somebody is answering or not. So my last question, look it up in camera and tell the Orange County voters what they should vote for you.
Thank you. Well, first, I want to thank you again for this platform. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. It means so much to the Clerk Forward campaign, the Clerk Forward vision, and the future of the Orange County Clerk of Court. I'm asking your vote on November 3rd in the general election because I have an interest in the Clerk of Courts based on my 20 years that I've spent serving, based on the relationships I've built that I consider lifelong, based on my experience with Tyler Technologies, who is the current vendor to the CMS system, currently the system of record in Orange County. I'm asking for your vote because I am going to be a clerk that is going to be engaged with employees. I'm going to be a clerk who is going to have the community focus and the community engagement, and I will be looking at ways to better serve the community, to serve the county in areas that may be underserved, the areas that will be best served by this vision. I want to create mobile experiences. I want to increase our technology to where we are the industry's best at practicing cybersecurity. We are the industry's best as far as safeguarding data and providing data to our stakeholders, partners, and everyone who does business with the clerk's office. I'm asking your vote because Clerk Forward is the vision that is going to transform this office into the future. And so I'm asking your vote on November 3rd for the one top reason that says the Clerk of Court's office is going to be the #1 place to serve in Orange County, and that is through the vision, Clerk Forward. Thank you so much for your vote.
My last question, where they can find you, if you can leave the info.
Yes, thomasforclerk.com is the website. Certainly Facebook, facebook.com/thomasforclerk. Please go out and subscribe to Facebook, to our page. Feel free to share, like, and leave any comments. We're taking volunteers. We certainly could use your donations. We have a big fundraising effort going on, 1,000 forward, which is we're asking $100 from 1,000 people to move this vision to every corner of Orange County, all 13 cities of Orange County. We need your help and donation there. So feel free to go out and check out the movement, which is Clerk Forward. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Again, thank you again, sir, for being our guest. Appreciate it. So again, guys, this is episode 73. This is RIMM Podcast. Please like, share, comments together with care and share. We can change the community. We can improve our community. Please help this guy. My job is to bring these candidates, to give them voice, because many of them are voiceless. We don't do sound bites. So please, again, your special host, Tiggy, our special guest is Terrell Thomas. He's running for Orange County Clerk of Court. Elections are November 3rd, so please support this guy. Visit his page, share, invite others, volunteer as well. So we'll do our best to put the video as quickly as possible so we can help you out. Again, sir, thank you again. We'll appreciate you. It was a pleasure meeting
Likewise.
you. Again, looking forward to see what's going to happen in November 3rd. And again, please don't forget to click, share, and like. We love you. Stay light. Stay delightful, and take care of each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.